Welcome in, everyone, for this evening's Power of 50 community broadcast. And I am on late. I'm testing out some different times and things to come on, trying to reach as many people as possible. I always like to say I want to meet you where you are. So we're doing a late night version. It's 9 p.m. here in Arizona, so it's going to make it about midnight on the East Coast. So we're going to try out this time slot here tonight and see how that goes. But welcome in wherever you're finding us. If you're finding us on the replay, either on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Live Community, or another platform, I welcome you. Welcome you to the Power 50 community. I welcome you to be part of the Ultimate Power team. My name is Marci Batiste. I'm your Ultimate Power Coach, America's #1 reality-based success and recovery trainer. And I always say my job is to disrupt your toxic thoughts, help you end your self-sabotaging behaviors so that you can create the life you truly want to live, that custom-fitted life. It works just for you. It's perfect for you. It might not work for somebody else, but it works for you. And a lot of times we're afraid to do what just works for us because we want everyone else to buy into our story, buy into what we got going on. And it doesn't always work out that way. So today's message for our life lesson is the universe rewards decisiveness. The universe rewards decisiveness. So, I was thinking about this message and how this has manifested itself in my life time and time again, where an opportunity will come along, and if you wait too long, the window closes, the door closes. You have to be willing to go when the opportunity is there. You have to be willing to jump when the opportunity presents itself. It's not always going to linger. It's not always going to be there. And so many times we talk ourselves out of our blessings. I know for a fact I've done that probably hundreds of times over the years. And it wasn't until I started having this real deepened awareness about opportunities and being able to perceive them as blessings. And the thing about it is, we also have to remember that sometimes when we sow a seed, it's not for us to reap the harvest. It might be for the generations after us to reap the harvest. And so sometimes we don't want to pursue things because we don't see the immediate benefit to us. But here's what I'm going to tell you about God's plan. We don't always see how it's going to work out in the end. He sees the beginning and the end. He already knows where he's trying to take you to. But if you're constantly resisting opportunities that are presented to you to get you to where you need to be, or you're constantly trying to talk yourselves out of things, you can't get to the place he needs you to get to. And so when I say the universe rewards decisiveness, it means when you hear that little voice that says, you know what, pursue that, do that, try that, check it out. I know it doesn't make sense right now, but check it out, because here's what I know to be true. You don't need faith when everything's going right. You don't need faith when the money is flowing perfectly and all of the assets are among your feet. You need faith when you feel called to do something. You maybe don't have all the resources that you need. You maybe don't have the team around you that you need, but the vision is there. The vision has been presented to you and you've been given this opportunity. And a lot of us, understand that we have a bigger calling. There's a bigger purpose for why we're here and why we do what we do. I firmly believe that for myself. I firmly believe that about the experiences that I've been through, because I came out of them stronger than I went into them. No matter how bad it seemed, in the middle of a storm, I came out. He brought me through it. And so I already know that if I let faith be my guide, that I'm going to get through it. I'm going to get through it. So even if I don't have everything that I need to fulfill the vision or to fulfill the dream at this moment, to use as an excuse not to pursue it is not going to serve me well. It's not going to serve me well. And I'm not supposed to necessarily see the end all to what the vision looks like. I believe, and this is my personal belief, I believe that God, the universe, gives you enough to move you forward, and then it's up to him. He's going to provide along the way the things that you need, and it's crazy. And I'm thinking about, I just had a meeting today with an associate that's collaborating on a project with me. It's an opportunity that has the potential to change my entire life, as well as my family's entire life, and then to significantly make an impact on the lives of people who are closest to me outside of my family and who are involved in this project. So I don't I don't have what I need. I don't have the resources to do this. I don't have the skill set to do this. And I knew that, but when the opportunity came to me, I said, you know what? I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to have faith that the universe is going to reward. I did not think of all the reasons why I can't, why I shouldn't. I didn't convince myself. I didn't take time to think like, you've never done this before. This is way outside anything you've ever done. This wasn't part of your vision. This wasn't part of your plan. This wasn't anything that you would have thought of for yourself. I said, this is an opportunity to change my life and to alter the course of my entire family's lives for generations. For generations. Do I have everything I need in the moment? Nope. Sure don't. Nope, I don't. But here's what happens. Then once you say yes and you begin to do your part, you start to walk in that belief with that faith. It starts being provided. So as I go, the team is being built. So I don't have to have the expertise. This doesn't have to be something that's in my wheelhouse. There's people out there who already know how to do what needs to be done to make this happen. And so I'm sitting in this meeting today and we're talking through this project, and I realized like the universe really does reward decisiveness. He's going to put the team around you that you need. Like, faith isn't about doing what's easy. Faith is about doing what you're supposed to do, even when it's hard, even when you don't have what you need. But the universe is always going to reward the decisiveness and your commitment to act on what you're called to do. Even if you don't see the end all, even if you don't see how it's all going to play out, you don't know how you're going to get there. That's not your business. That's not your problem. The universe got you. God got you. That's what he does. That's what he specializes in, right? So he sees the bigger plan. He knows what the end looks like for you, but you have to be willing to do your part. I was watching to kind of play off of this. I was watching Joel Osteen on TV one time, and he was talking about he called it bold obedience. Bold obedience was how he referred to it. And he said that faith is going to require bold obedience. Hey, Tez, faith is going to require bold obedience, meaning for you to truly walk with faith, you're going to have to be bold in your obedience to do what you're called to do. Do what God sends you to do. Do what the universe says and puts in your path to say, here, I'm going to trust this to you, but I need you to walk it out. I need you to work it out. I need you to sign up and go all in. I don't need you to sit back and ask a bunch of questions. I don't need you to try and figure out all the details on the front end, because he's going to build in the timeline that you need to complete the process. He's going to build in the timeline that's going to allow the experts to come in. He's going to build in the timeline that's going to allow the resources to flow, for the money to flow. But you have to walk in bold obedience, even when it doesn't make sense. And that's what he's talking about. Even when it doesn't make sense, you don't know how it's going to play out. You don't know where you're going to get the money from. You don't know where you're going to get the skills from. You don't know where you're going to get the people that need to surround you to make this happen from, because that's not your business. That's his business. And those of you who work with me know I always say there's three kinds of business: your business, my business, and God's business. Which one are you minded? Because the only one you can control is your business. He's going to do what he's going to do, and handle his business. And whoever else is involved, you got to let them handle their business. The only business you can control is your business. So anytime you're operating in somebody else's business, you're going to hold yourself back. You're going to hold yourself back. Don't nobody need to throw an obstacle in your way. You're going to talk yourself out of your blessings. The universe rewards decisiveness. Make a decision. Go for it. Don't worry. You know, I think about that even when I think about classes that I've taken and things like that. I've thought many times, like, I don't really have the money for this, that, or the other thing. But I know something in me is like, no, but you're going to need that. And how many times I have taken that extra step of faith, paid out that money, attended that class, stayed up late, done what I was supposed to do, not knowing why, not knowing when it's going to pay off. And then somewhere down the line, something happens and it's like, oh yeah, I took a class on that. Oh yeah, I did that. Oh yeah, I know how. See, he was putting me in position to receive the blessing that I didn't even see coming. I didn't even see coming, but because I was decisive in that moment. I took that step. I took the class, I paid the money, whatever the case may be. I was ready for an opportunity that I never saw that prepping me for. There was just something that told me, like, you need to learn this. That's when I started studying cognitive behavioral therapy. I don't know why I felt like I needed to know that. I don't know why that subject matter interests me. I was a banker. It doesn't have anything to do with banking. But for what I do now as a coach and as a trainer, understanding cognitive behavior therapy and how that works in the process of how the brain and thoughts impact our actions is imperative. Like, I could not be successful as a coach if I didn't have those skills. And I wouldn't have had those skills if I'd have questioned, why are you having me to pay this money about something that don't have nothing to do with nothing that I'm doing? So bank executive, I didn't need to know how people think. But for whatever reason, I was drawn to the subject. And it was easy for me to absorb the material because it was preparation. I was sowing a seed, but the reward has been years later. You understand? Like, for years, I didn't use that information. I didn't use that skill. I didn't use that education. I didn't use that knowledge. I didn't convert that knowledge into wisdom until I needed it to be a coach. But had I not had the knowledge to begin with, because I was obedient on the front end, I never would have had what I needed on the backside to now be able to use that in my coaching business. And when I tell you, it's a foundational piece of where people struggle in building up that personal foundation, shoring it up, getting things in alignment. Because so much of it's mindset. But faith is mindset. Faith is mindset. It's about not questioning what you don't know. It's about understanding that the reward will come eventually if you're obedient. If you're obedient, it's not going to be necessarily something that you see on the front side. It's not necessarily going to make sense. Just like when you're presented with an opportunity that you don't have everything you need to have, but he builds the team around you. And he makes the timeline. That was one of the big things in our meeting today. We were talking about the timeline for this project. But what does the timeline look like? And the gentleman I was meeting with, we're kind of going back and forth about, like, yeah, I don't know about this, and I don't know about that. So I called one of the other collaborators who's on the project, who brought the opportunity to me. I said, hey, what does this look like for a timeline? And he said, I don't want to interrupt the creative process. Focus on the creative process. Don't worry about the timeline. Focus on the creative process. Don't worry about the timeline. Focus on the creative process. Don't worry about the timeline. Because, see, the ultimate goal is to make this the best that it can be. It's to deliver what the universe is asking us to deliver. Deliver what the universe is asking us to deliver. It's not saying deliver it in this amount of time. It's saying there's a message that needs to be received. You are the person chosen to deliver this message. This is the medium that has been given to you in order to do that. Now, what you do with it is on you, boo. And so once I heard him say that, and I was talking to the person I was collaborating with, I said, well, this is what he said. He was like, okay, we got that. That's perfect. That's perfect. And so because we were able to have that conversation, then we were able to go a little bit deeper in some of the subject matter, because now we have the time to build that out and to build that up and to make it truly even more impactful than what we originally had planned, because we were thinking time frame. But the opportunity is about the information. It's about the delivery. It's about the process. It's not about the timeline. And so that's what I say. If you do what you're supposed to do, the universe will provide the space in which for you to do it. But you got to be willing to do it. You got to be willing to work it out and walk it out. That's the only way it's going to happen. And again, I didn't even know the two people, well, three now, that are on this project with me. I did not know them before the opportunity presented itself. Did not know them. They're not in my circle. Not a couple of them, not even in my state. Did not know them. Did not know them. But the opportunity came from a seed that was sown 2 years ago. A chance meeting, sharing some information about who I am, what I do as an author, as a storyteller. That seed was sown 2 years ago. I didn't know in that conversation that 2 years later, an opportunity of this magnitude was going to present itself. And then once it presented itself, I had no idea how I was going to do it because I didn't know nothing about this. And then he's providing the team. So now I've got a team started, and this is their wheel space. This is their area of expertise. But that's because I was obedient. I was obedient back then when I entertained this conversation. I didn't know, right, Taz? Wow. Like, I didn't know when I was entertaining that conversation. It was one of those conversations where you're like, yeah, right, okay. I hear you. But I didn't engage in the conversation with that attitude. I engaged in that conversation, and I answered the questions that were being asked, and we had this in-depth convo about something that I was like, yeah, right, that ain't never gonna happen, but okay. You want to know these things about me? I'll tell you these things about me. But because I was willing to have that conversation, I was obedient in that moment, right? I was obedient in that moment. 2 years later, the opportunity comes. Oh, there is a big old moth or something in here. 2 years later, the opportunity comes and presents itself. And again, I don't know how, but now there's a team. And these are people that I didn't know until after the opportunity came. So don't block your blessings. The universe rewards decisiveness. The universe will reward your commitment to do what you are called to do. And I know so many times, especially I work with a lot of authors with my author coaching. They'll tell me, I feel like I just been called to write this book, but I haven't done it yet. The universe rewards decisiveness. Why haven't you done it? If you were truly called to do this and to make this happen, to birth this and to put this information out there, why haven't you done it yet? Your blessing is on the other side of that information. Your blessing is waiting for you to deliver this product. Why are you second guessing God? Why are you second guessing universe? Why are you questioning faith? Why have you not gone down this process? And then when they're approached, now I can coach you through the process, but then sometimes people still don't sign up then. I got all the money and this, that, and other thing and the time. Okay, I'm not going to fight you for your blessings. If you want to let that opportunity pass you by all means. What I'm saying is I have the tools and the resources and the information and the skill set that you need to birth this blessing in under 90 days. But if you say, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I don't have the blah, 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 by all means, let your blessing go. But just understand, when you don't pursue your blessings, you're blocking not only yours, but you're blocking somebody else's, because if you're truly called to deliver a message, someone else is waiting for that message. You see, we all build together. And so the information that I have, somebody else needs in order to do what they need to do to bless somebody else. And so it's all united, but you can truly become the cog in the wheel that stops your blessing and the person who you're supposed to be blessing. Stop being selfish. Do what you're called to do. Do what you say. You know, you tell me God put this on your heart to write this book, but you still haven't written it, and it's been 5 years. I'm looking like, you do know you're blocking your blessings, right? You do know that. And people don't look at it from that perspective, but that's what it's all about, guys. It's about, faith is about walking when you don't know what comes next. It's about pursuing even when you don't feel like you have all that it takes, because you might not. You might not. The universe didn't say you already have everything you need. The universe, God, I'm going to provide what you need. Let him do him. You do you. And everything else going to work out in the end. All right. So that's my life lesson today, guys. Don't block your blessing. The universe rewards decisiveness. Be decisive in your action. Be committed to what you're called to do. If you truly feel like you're called to do something, you're called to be a speaker, you're called to be an author, you're called to be a coach, you're called to be a preacher or pastor or whatever. If you are truly feeling like you are called to do that, you just have this thing that you just can't let go of because it just keeps coming back and it keeps coming back. And you're like, I know God is speaking to me, but you trying to ignore the word of God. Come on now. Why would you do that? Don't block your blessings. Be decisive in your actions. He will make a way. He will give you the timeline that you need. He will build the team around you. He will. But you have to be, as Pastor Olstein said, you have to be boldly obedient. Boldly obedient. Be obedient when it don't make sense. Don't worry about what the neighbors and the naysayers have to say. You know, if you were called, if you truly feel like you were called to do something, you were called to deliver a message, make it happen. Because that's where your blessing, that's where your blessing's coming from. Thank you, Tez. That's where your blessing is coming from. Don't let that go. Don't let that go. It should be part of what you do and what you know to do. You should know that if I do this, God's going to make a way. That's what faith is. That's what faith is. So exercise a little bit of faith. The universe, God rewards decisiveness. It rewards action. So be action oriented and go for what you're supposed to go for. Do what you're supposed to do. Do what you were called to do. Don't block your blessings. And by all means, don't block nobody else's blessings because you're too lazy to work out your own. Okay, that's it now officially from the Power of 50 community, guys, for tonight's life lesson. I appreciate those of you who are joining in. Remember, share the video out. If you get the chance, share the video out. Invite somebody in. Somebody is holding on to a blessing and they need to hear this tonight. They need to be reminded that being boldly obedient is required in order for the universe sometimes to provide all the things you need to do what you were called to do. So that's it for me tonight. Thanks for being part of the Ultimate Power Team. And if you haven't already joined the Power 50 community, make sure you click the link. Join. Ladies, there's a private group just for women called Womanhood and Wisdom Power 50. Make sure you join us over there as well. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow with another life lesson on our 50-day blitz. Have a great one.